Hey guys, in today's episode, we listened to some voicemails from our league mates, and this is the first time we're hearing it, so you're going to hear us react live on the show.
Welcome to the Coach and Commish podcast. No, not Adam Gase, and definitely not Roger Goodell. It's Chris and Sean breaking down fantasy football for the everyday man.
Welcome back. You're here with the Coach and Commish. I'm Chris, is Sean to my right, and today we're brave men. We put out there to our local league here on our 757.
There's no dirty language on these.
Yeah, forgive us. We go this. That might be the one thing that gets edited if Morgan puts some language in there. But we asked some of our guys. Our local league was brought up to one of our listeners to let those kind of almost like call-ins.
Yeah.
Give us voicemails. Sean didn't screen them. I didn't hear them earlier. We're going to listen live here, and they're going to have some concerns, some questions. They might bash us. I might hear a thing or two about my awful trade, and we're going to react to it. So, Sean, you want to jump right in?
So, without further ado, we'll start with Joe here. Again, I don't know there's not really a specific topic. A lot of these will probably be about trades or the trade deadline, just because that's what just happened in our league. And yeah.
I feel like it should be like that. Oh, we got a caller, Joe from Hampton, because that's where he lives. Joe from Hampton, what do you have for us?
Oh.
The league is the best league I'm in. I'm not having the best season, and I finally thought I was about to turn a corner, and Michael Carter got hurt. So really got to win this week against Daniel, because I'm probably not going to beat Leroyce the following week with two Redskin running backs playing as my RB1 and RB2. Don't think Chris's trade was that controversial. I think he backed it up by being the highest scoring team this week. Looking forward to hopefully squeaking into the playoffs and see what happens from there. But this is, like I said, definitely the best league I'm in. Everyone pays attention the whole time, and it's great.
All right. Thank you, Joe from Hampton.
Yeah, of course. Of course you liked Joe from Hampton. He backs you in your trade. He's probably the only person, but
it's like one of two or three, maybe.
Including yourself.
Yeah.
And Tim.
Yep.
We found the three. Yeah, so although you did dominate this week, I don't think the trade is what helped you with your 4 points from Bateman. So you got a 4-point lead on me if we don't do an average games played, but because Marquise Brown did miss this week, so we'll have to monitor that. Joe's right. He's gonna have to work to get in these playoffs. He's in 7th place right now, which in our league, 6th is the last spot in. So yeah, he had a rough one this week. I know he put up in our chat. We do, for those of you that don't know how our league works, we have a regular matchup win, and then you have a median win, which is when you're in the top 6 scorers, then you get one. And he was the 7th scorer, and he lost his matchup, which that's an unfortunate thing. So maybe we'll just react with what do you think of his matchup this week? I think that's kind of what he was talking about. He's going to have to go in there, and he's going to have to win if he's going to be able to get into the playoffs.
Who did he talk about being injured coming into this week for him, or did he drop that already?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that part of it, but you can just talk about his in general. He's playing the Turtles, which are also kind of fighting for that playoff spot.
It's square down the middle here for him. What I do like is that Antonio Gibson has become relevant again, somewhat with the offense. He's got a lineup that could still squeak in to the playoffs, but it comes down to
it's really his flex position. That Kadarius Toney is really what's going to be difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, I really hope that I don't ever root for kickers, but if Younghoe Koo scores 20 points against Daniel this week, it will make me very happy. So let's find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, Toney part is going to be the toughest one, but when he is healthy and playing, he's the only thing that works out correctly in the Giants offense. And we're recording on a Tuesday, and we found out earlier today that the Giants made a change in their offense by letting go of their offensive coordinator. So there might be a bright side there. But, Joe, you still have a roster competitive enough to squeak into that 6th spot.
Yep.
What's our next call?
All right, so here we got Leroyce. Let's see what Leroyce has. I'm sure it's trade-related.
Leroyce from Northern Virginia.
As the trade leader of this league, with 18 total trades on this season,
18.
I want to thank everyone for entertaining my crazy trades, accepting the trades that made sense, as well as trading with me to get me to the point that I'm at right now. I want to send a personal apology to Sean and to Tim for all the teasing that I have done to them over the season with all the trades that possibly could have happened. But other than that, I want to let Tim know you're going down this week, buddy.
Ooh, a little trash talk to end there. So let's first acknowledge the trade king.
Yes,
Leroyce.
The king has been crowned. He officially won it. Tim made a run for it there towards the end, but then Leroy said, "Nope, I got this." 18. That's a lot of trades.
We did give him some mess with the crazy trades, but if we look from the beginning of
I'm
the year,
going to say 17 because your last little trade there doesn't count as a trade.
You know what?
Stupid three-way.
It's like a filibuster we had to make. And there's three-way trades. There was one that we were involved in that I couldn't agree on. Then there was one I was like, let's just make this happen. And I also said, wouldn't it be hilarious making it kickers?
Kickers, yeah.
For Sean to get the first three-way trade. But Leroyce was toward the bottom. And it looked like he was selling.
I know.
And was able to...
I thought he'd lost his team when he made that first trade with Daniel, traded away Carson and Montgomery for Mixon, and that's worked out.
He drafted 17 running backs at the draft, right? And it seemed like he was flipping them all for different pieces. And now he's
a force.
He's secure in the playoff spot.
Yeah.
Without any injuries to his lineup, he's secure there.
Jonathan Taylor will make sure that he's secure there.
That boy is a one-man. Right? It's like the rest of his team did take
just
off,
the two.
And he won.
Yeah, exactly. He had two running backs that scored over 70 points, and so he won.
Now, let's go to this week's matchup. This is a very good matchup. He did a little trash talk there through the league villain, as he's called now. Tim's claimed himself that. What do you looked at this matchup here? They're very close, 14-8, 13-9 team matchup.
Overall, I would say that Tim has the better team. It's really going to come down to if he gets the explosive performance from Jonathan Taylor and Mixon this week. Really, actually, the key, I think, to Leroyce's team has been Russell Wilson. Like, if Russell Wilson doesn't start stepping it up, you're going to have to make a change, Leroyce. Like, he's killing you right now, and I know you know that. Him and Metcalf together, it's been a bad combo. The stack is nice, but when they're not scoring points, it doesn't work very well.
What are your thoughts there? I mean, with Metcalf and Russell, I was watching this past weekend, and it was extremely tough to watch that.
I think Russell is still working off the rust. I think, the Russell rust.
Yeah, nice play on words.
I think he will get it together. I tried to trade for Metcalf.
I did too.
He just wanted too much. You had Metcalf. What are you doing?
We were just having fun.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, Leroyce, we really got to stop flirting, man. Stop texting me.
He's not lying about that. That whole flirting thing.
Up?
I know Tim will completely agree, but he's definitely a flirt. Like he'll tease you along.
He was coming for CEH. I was like, don't you have enough running back power? He's like, I'm trying to win this thing. I'm like, oh, that's too much to give.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the big part of their matchup is if that combo can do well. If not, I think I would give the edge to Tim right now. I mean, just his running back stable is insane right now. He's got Najee Harris, Darrell Henderson, and then he'll be either starting Miles Sanders or Melvin Gordon, probably Miles Sanders in there. His wide receivers are hurting because he doesn't have Amari Cooper, but Mooney filled in nicely. We'll maybe talk about him, or we did talk about him in our last podcast with Chris, one of Chris's starts. But yeah, his team is set up well. The trades have worked well for both of these teams.
Yeah, and Taylor going against Tampa, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
He might be normal, not phenomenal.
He'll be 20 points instead of 40 points.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what's our next caller?
All right, so this is Tim James himself. Let's see if he has any trash talk.
Hey, what's up, league mates? League villain here. Just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate Morgan on blowing a 29-point lead.
Trash talk in
well
the
done.
previous.
Hashtag bang kickers. Also, I just wanted to kind of address the elephant in the room. This last week was pretty awkward, I would say, for the league as a whole. A lot of people were pretty unhappy with my trade. I'm sure Chris can attest to this with all the banter and ridicule just kind of took some of the joy out of the league. I felt like I kind of could use this opportunity and from the bottom of my heart to apologize to absolutely no one. I apologize for nothing. I am very excited about my team going forward.
I bet you
excited
are.
about my playoff potential. So come at me.
I love it. I was like, oh, don't apologize. Don't apologize to him. And he didn't.
No, of course not. The league villain never apologizes.
Villain doesn't.
So Not a lot to react to there, other than, if I was Tim, I would be real psyched about that trade and what it's put, the position it's put my team in. His running backs, just to give you a rundown, he has Najee Harris, Darrell Henderson, Miles Sanders, Melvin Gordon, and, just Myles Gaskin in case he wants to throw him in. I mean, he's stacked at running back, which is a great place to be going into the playoffs because we all know injuries are going to happen. So, he's set up well. I love his team. I hate his trade.
I love you, man. All right. Who's our next caller?
All right. And so our last caller here is going to be Captain Morgan himself. I think this one here is about the trades. So, I mean, this has just turned into a second episode all about the trade that happened.
All right. Morgan from Miami. That's where he's calling
Morgan from Miami.
Biggest week in fantasy right here. Week 11. I've been starting talking trash to him on week 3. We tried to do a trade. It didn't work out. I've been telling him how trash his team is. Been telling him he's barely made it where he is, just barely scraping by. So I was looking forward to this week all season. And then all of a sudden I see on Monday there's a trade alert Sean told me, and I look up on fantasy and I see this awful trade. I'm talking like waiver wire pickups. I'm talking about like people that aren't even going to be playing this season that I haven't even heard about. Like just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm like, this can't stand. I can't believe this. I've talked up our league so much. I'm like, everybody in this league is so good. Like, you think you want somebody, and they already got picked up 3 weeks ago. These people can see into the future. And then I see, like, a terrible trade like this, like in some family league where you're playing against people that don't even watch football, and you're stealing players from them. Just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we have to let it go through because we can't overturn it, but just ridiculous. So now Tim just has, like, a ridiculously good team. So I'm upset about it.
He took that deep breath. He took a deep breath there.
So Morgan was not pleased with your trade, in case that was not made clear last week.
He was not. But you look at this matchup here in Week 11, only one player actually played in that trade, which was Gaskin, right? Did he start? No, he had.
Yeah, Gaskin was the piece that he said would win him it, and it did.
It did, and it was barely a 2-point victory, not even.
Yeah, came down to the kicker.
Yeah, gotta love kickers, man.
No, you don't. But yeah, I feel for Morgan. It was a rough one. I mean, really, he was in a good position, seeing as his defense had a 29-point differential. He had 26 points from the Patriots, and then the Bills of all, one of the best defenses in the NFL, puts up a -3 for Tim. So
yeah, I know that Morgan was looking for some running back help there, and it really needs to come in with Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah,
coming back, and hopefully even let's see if Freeman lays hold on Baltimore's backfield when Murray's back.
That's what he's holding on to. I mean, this next voicemail is also from Morgan. He's hogging up the show a little bit. But
two voicemails. Come on.
He wanted to talk about his trades that almost went. I know you know a little bit about this. So
yeah.
I told him he had to go get a running back. I gave the man the recipe. I said, look, you don't need Terry McLaurin. You can't start Waddle and McLaurin every week, so this is the time. You need to get a running back, and unfortunately, Devonta Freeman had a 17-point game, so he thinks that that's a possibility now. And
let's go listen to the second call.
What he thought of his trades.
So it was Monday night. Tim wasn't far behind me. I felt like he was going to beat me, but I had to do a trade. All my running backs are really injured. I didn't really have any good, consistent running backs. So I was looking at Tim. He had Melvin Gordon. Miles Sanders. I started talking him up for Melvin Gordon. I really didn't want to give up good. Like I was willing to give up Waddle, but I also had Terry, and of course Tim didn't want Waddle. He wanted Terry. He wanted my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
It's been his saying.
And so I was talking to him, and I'm also concerned because if I give Tim Terry McLaurin, he's going to be an all-star team. It's going to affect everybody. So even though it made me better, it'd be really hard one to give up such a. I mean, he's close to my heart. That's my boy right there, Big Terry. Let's go, Terry. So I went to Chris. I was like, Chris, you have CEH. Is there any way that's a solid running back right now. He had a great week last week. I was like, is there any way we can make a trade? I offered Waddle first. Of course, he didn't want Waddle. I was like, how about Terry? This man's like, no, how about Debo or Jamar Chase? And I was like, God, I might as well give you my Costco credit card. You can buy whatever you want. Because you just want everything.
Chris decides he knows how to trade now.
So I mean, he wanted a couple other things. Just trade didn't work out for Chris and I. So I went back to Tim. Tim was thinking like maybe Sanders or Terry, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, like Terry's my boy. Tim doesn't deserve Big Terry. So I mean, if the ship's going down, Terry's going down on me. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna fight through it, and we'll see what happens.
Terry's going down on him.
Big.
In case you missed that.
Sean, can you tell me where in the world? I saw Daniel make a joke about it, but every time Morgan says big someone, Big Terry, Big Akers, whatever it might be, what's the story behind him saying big?
So Morgan has always done this. It's just become part. I mean, it's in my vocabulary now. I say it often. I honestly think that it's possible that it started with Phil in our league. I think that Big Phil was one. That's the one that I've heard the most of.
Big Phil? Yeah, I've heard that a ton, yeah.
Because Phil, he's a big dude, so that it works for him. So he became part of what he would say. So he'd say Big Sean, Big Mark, Big Chris, Big Terry. Just Big got into there. But the real part of the story that was hilarious was. This was when he really started saying it a bunch, and there was a friend of ours, and her name was Heidi, and he said, "Hey, Big Heidi," and it started to come out of his mouth, and he instantly retracted it back in, and she didn't enjoy being called the Big Heidi.
You don't say that to a female, bro.
So he since had to tame the tongue from using big all the time, but you'll see. Yeah, he likes big whatever. It's just I think it's a compliment, honestly.
Yeah, it is, but not to a female. This was awesome. I loved listening to the voicemails, hearing you guys' voices, and you're chiming in on things. Hopefully we can move past a little bit of being Tim's trade, and we can talk a little more. It's going to be exciting, especially come playoff time, to hear what our league mates think. And even if you have questions for us to answer, if you wanted it, most of you guys are so private, you probably don't want to say it out loud to the rest of the league. But those coming in voice
start
must be awesome.
questions. Go for it.
Do it. I loved it. Sean, you got anything else for him?
I was just gonna go over Morgan's matchup here a little bit. He's playing Soul Juice. This is another
that's
important
a big matchup.
one. These are two playoff teams fighting to try to make sure they stay that way. He's again going to be struggling with these running backs. I really think he should have made that trade. I think that Miles Sanders for Terry was fair enough. I don't know what you think on that, but
I mean, giving up Terry's a ton, but when you have Debo and Jamar Chase, you need to go get that short.
And he has Waddle. Waddle to me is a perfect just stick in there. You're going to get 8 targets.
McLaurin's a great name, but not for this year.
Yeah,
because of Heineke.
Yep,
he's a keeper, but he ain't keeping McLaurin over Debo and Chase.
Yep.
So I think he should have gone for Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Miles Sanders or Melvin Gordon were his options. It looked like so. We'll see, Morgan. We'll see if that's the death of your playoff hopes, but I hope it's not. Yeah, so that's our voicemail segment. It may permanently become what this 757 podcast is all about, so that we have to do zero work and just react to what you guys have to say.
And just to throw in, because nobody really cares outside of me and Sean, but this week the anti-commish and the commish are playing.
Oh, that's right.
So
it is me versus you. We need to have some type of bet on this.
I think so. What is it? The loser shaves his head?
No, I'm not going that far.
That would not be that. Not want to be good for me either. See if I just spoil things for people. Like my rise up. According to Daniel, no one's truly mathematically out.
It's true.
So it's just an upside down world if I start winning now.
You know what? How about this? This has been a Morgan themed episode, so I think that whoever wins whoever loses has to buy the other Qdoba's.
All right, I will.
We'll go to Qdoba's.
I'm not going to lose.
Oh, this is foreshadowing. We've already decided.
I hope not, but yes. I'll take on some Qdoba's there. All righty, guys. Thank you for listening. Let's keep those voicemails coming.
Yep. Keep them up every week, and we'll see you guys next week. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Coach and Commish podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Coach and Commish. And join our Facebook group called Fantasy Football Advice with the Coach and Commish for direct access to weekly waiver wire and start sit advice.